couple of days ago, the royal family had dinner at this restaurant at Casima's insistence. It was a different night from those at the castle among luxury servants and endless varieties of food, but the privacy of the night, accompanied by the candlelight, the friendly bards, and the exquisite wines, made of it something to remember. A nice little terrace sits on top of the building. On crowded nights and on special occasions, the restaurant owners set it up for guests to enjoy the beautiful view. Alexander brought Casima here on the night of their first anniversary, the Queen told Graham. Graham could take the pieces of the once happy banner, but to what end? Even the few remaining pieces that are intact are likely to fall to ash in his pockets. Get your hands off that, Graham. Graham takes a look at the tormented tree as its branches are mercilessly caught in a tug-of-war in the winds, to the point of looking like they might even be torn off. The king can somehow relate. Inside of him, a wild storm has just begun to rage, harrowing his every nerve, at every inch of a man who has looked evil in the eye before and won, yet has never found a way to truly put it to an end for good. It looks like Casima's nightingale, Sing Sing, is raising a family of her own. Several noisy little nestlings are begging for food from their patient mother. She doesn't look happy in this downpour, though.
Tell me, guard dog, why is it that you are the only one on duty at the front gates? It seems a bit odd given the day's events.
The other guards are securing the island and the smaller entrances of the castle, sire, and have entrusted me to this post. We figure that if that stranger could appear in the gardens like that, he's not likely to use something as obvious as the front door or the garden doors if he comes by a second time. The quieter entrances are being guarded with more numbers right now, but no enemy of the crown shall pass so long as I stand here.
It's good to know my children are in good hands. It's the cloak that dark creature left behind when it vanished.
Though not sure what good it will do to have just the cloak of the stranger in his hands, Graham takes the garment into his possession. That is not going to work.
Greetings, your highnesses.
Good day, Graham. I cannot tell you how sorry Oberon and I are for all that is happening.
You are most kind, my dear queen. I hope there is something that can be done to break this enchantment on my poor children.
So do we.
Don't you two want to come inside? This weather is terrible to be standing in.
Oh, that's all right. I'd much prefer to stay outside. This garden reminds me of the beauty of my homeland, and I feel at peace with nothing but the sky above me.
Yes, all fairies do. Even with the weather as bad as this, we do our best thinking out of doors. It helps calm our spirits. It is Titania's wish.
I understand. It's hard to believe that this started out as such a wonderful day to end in such tragedy.
It is truly unspeakable.
We haven't felt this much anguish since Edgar was kidnapped from our own garden. But you still have your children, and there must be a way to save them.
We can only hope. Do you think Edgar will recover from this all right?
It's hard to say. I've noticed that his fairy soul is still fragile, but he may yet surprise us.
He will recover only when his bride does.
They were both so happy these days. Rosella kept telling me these stories about how she loved your homeland so much.
It was wonderful to see her and Edgar there together, and so happy.
I'd give anything to undo what's happened to my little girl.
It must have been lovely being able to raise your own child. And Rosella is such an eager girl. All the time she spent with us, she was always inquiring about everything in sight. Etheria, Eldritch, Edgar.
That's Rosella. Just yesterday I had to tell her to stop and go take a walk. She wouldn't talk about anything else but how she never found any reference to Edgar as a child in your lands. How young was he when Lelote took him?
Well, he.
Not long after Edgar disappeared, I commanded the lands to forget about him and never pronounce his name again, so that Titania could move on with her life and not live with the ghost of the son we never knew.
I agree. Valanice had difficult times when Alexander was stolen as an infant. Now she has to face that horror again.
You are all she has now.
I wish it could be otherwise, but she'll have to manage without me while I find a way out of this. I'd better be leaving. The sooner I find a way to help my children, the better.
Be careful, Graham.
Yes, be careful.